Mwasibire muta, mwasibye mutya, amahoro, agandi, byaibo, habari gani, muraho, sangonini, kopango, odeo. For those of you who are wondering what that was, these are some of the various local greetings found in East Africa's diverse languages. Welcome to She Center, the female podcast, where I dive into the issues and experiences that affect women everywhere. I am your host, Resty Kansiime, and I am passionate about creating a safe space for women to share their stories and triumphs. I want to thank you for tuning into my podcast, and I would love for you to join our community and stay connected with us beyond this episode. You can find us on Instagram at _SheCenter_podcast and follow us on Facebook at the She Center Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast and hit that follow and like button on our social media to be part of the conversation. The She in She Center stands for support, heal, and empower. This is what I sought to do when I created this safe space. I shared that I have personally benefited from stories of people worldwide through listening to podcasts and reading books and watching documentaries and movies. Chimamanda said, "Everybody's story is potentially universal. It just needs to be told well." I believe that everyone's story matters and that we all have a lot to learn from each other. That said, I would like to thank you all for the overwhelming support, love, and encouragement that you showed me when I shared my journey with you last week. Many of you told me how you related to my story and how encouraged you are. I will forever be grateful. For the millennials and Gen Z out there, you know how our parents, the baby boomers and Gen X, always remind us of their struggles and how we have it so easy right now? Well, today I bring you a representative of the Gen X. I know that many women, especially Africans, who relate to her story and struggles. My mom is my hero. She is a force of nature. Those who know her have experienced the love that she gives wholeheartedly. She is always her authentic self, and I know that it is her life experience that has turned her into the person that she is today. Today, you will hear her story. She shares her experience of growing up in a small town village, her search for a bigger life that led her to the city, and the challenges that she faced after she became a single mother. I know that her story of hard work and resilience, despite the challenges she faced, will inspire many women and men out there. Please listen to the end to find out how she overcame it all. Enjoy. So, Mom, how was your day?
My day was fine, though I'm tired from
I can
work,
imagine.
up and down, but I'm okay now. I'm coming down.
Okay, I'm good. Okay, so welcome to She Center. I am sure you've been asking yourself, what is podcast? Do you now know what it is?
Now I can see the picture.
Yeah, we had to go through some work and to fix everything. Anyways, thank you so much for making the time to talk to me and be on my podcast.
Oh, yes.
Okay. So, the first thing I would like to ask you is, you always tell us so many stories about growing up. You people have not seen life. What? So, tell us, how was your childhood?
Yeah.
Tell us what was life like growing up? What are some of the challenges you faced? And anything. Tell us, take us to Karambi right now.
Yeah, the Resty, we saw life. Life, we saw it. Except that it's not the life like of these days. Our life was different. I'm a twin, and we grew up in a big family. My mother had 7 children, And we have also our step sisters and brothers at home. So we're about around 12 children in the home. And my mother was a headmistress in a primary school, Karambi Primary School, our primary school. That's where we started from. And yeah, our life was okay. We had everything because my mom was a very hardworking person, and she used to dig, to cultivate so many food we used to get from our own gardens. We never used to buy anything. So from our childhood, we learned going to dig to the gardens. When I was around 6 years, I could get a hole and go and dig. And maybe sometimes we stay there the whole day. The food will find us there.
Child labor.
Yeah.
Did you feel like it was a punishment, or was it just the normal thing in the village?
Yeah, sometimes it used to be too much, but we used to respect our parents. What they tell us, we have to do. So we could not deny anything. We could not. So we used to know. She used to tell us that what we are doing now, we are making our food, and we are not supposed to buy food. So I could see that. At the moment, I would say that it is child abuse or child labor, but by then it wasn't.
Okay. The term was not there back in the day.
No, yeah, the term was not there, and I think my mother would be in prison.
Okay, so tell us how the child was. Like, you're the firstborn, right? You
Yeah,
and
we are the firstborn. Yeah, and we grew up very prayerful people. My mother used to be a very prayerful lady, praying the rosary. We used to go in the sitting
I
room.
remember we also went through that
And
in the chapel.
We have a choir, we have drums, we have what? It used to be really wonderful. We used to pray, but sometimes we were very tired and we used to go to sleep. Then we could hurry speed and go in the sitting room and start, oh, hallelujah.
I think we did this to grandma as well. What we used to do in our era was we would wait when she has dozed off, and she would wake up when we are on the last stand. And we tell her, now we've said the whole rosary, and she's like, are you sure? I was like, yes. So she wouldn't read it. And yeah, but I think that's something we also experienced.
For us, we used to start immediately before they come so that we can pray quickly. But she will come and say, stop it. And then we stop. We start with them.
And you have to start again from the beginning.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And we have to kneel down from the first to the end.
Oh.
Because we are young.
Oh, unfortunately for you people. For us, we came in an era where grandma said, be comfortable.
Grandma is grandma.
Yeah.
I treasure that lady.
So tell us some of the challenges you faced when you were growing up.
The challenges I faced is like, first of all, we used to walk.
No car, no one?
No. We used to walk 8 kilometers every day going to work. School. We are in Impanga Secondary School at first, because before I changed to Chevambe, I was in Impanga. We used to walk in the morning. 5 o'clock we are starting. Then by 7 we are reaching. Then we come back after. By the time you go back home, you are tired. Oh. But you have housework to do. You have to fetch water. You have to cook. You have to organize the children, your young children. And then you go to bed.
At what time?
Around 9 in the night.
What time would you come back from school?
Around 5:36.
Oh, wow. And did that affect your performance in school? Or?
Yeah, somehow it affected. That's why even I was changed to secondary school. To Chevambe in a boarding school.
It was much easier in boarding school.
Easier because I was there. I could learn. I could do what. Yeah.
So throughout primary school, from the time you were 6, you had to work.
Yes.
After school.
Yes. And mostly, I was like mature somehow, and yet I was a child. My mother used to pick me of all so that I stay with the young ones at home. Like my little sister Vanessa and Jude. I took care of them when they were young. So the rest team could go to dig like 2 kilometers from home. And me, I stay home the whole day, cooking for them, washing and preparing supper for the people who are there. And how old was I? Maybe around 9.
Tell us about that story, or say when you would be digging, and everyone has like a distance they have to dig, and then grandma would say, "Ah, no, just from here up to there."
I remember one time, Mommy had cultivated millet, so we went to remove the I don't know how they call it, the grass, the wheat. So it was a big garden. I was with my sister.
It's a farm, not a garden.
Yeah. With my sister Lucy. So we worked from morning 7 until 3 o'clock. Now, Mom told her, I told Mommy, we are tired, Mommy. We used to go and throw weed and we fall with it. Oh, you can't. We said, we are tired. Mom said, okay, now you remove only this one, only the weed. Then you go back. And now the weed she's talking, the whole weed since we started. This is the only. We went and threw with myself. We went and then in the end, we decided, Lucy, let us run away and go back home. We said, I think this is not our mom even, because this is too much. So we ran home. My mother looked for us, could not see. She came annoyed. We were beaten. Hey, how could you leave this garden? How could you leave us? You know, this is it. It was only a small thing. Oh my God, Mom. We were beaten.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So back in the day, it wasn't child abuse.
And playing was not really, we could play a little. But my mom would be coming from very far there. We could hear her greeting. She was greeting the whole village.
Yeah. We experienced that too.
When we ran everybody to our place of work.
I remember when we were growing up, you'd hear grandma from 1 kilometer away. She's greeting, and then at that moment, everyone has to look for something to do. And then when she gets home, she comes holding rubbish in her hands. And she would find you have doing nothing. She would say, I have been here just 1 second. I have found this rubbish. Who are you to say that there's nothing to do?
That's Mom.
Yeah, anyways, she was a very hardworking person.
Very hardworking. That lady, I've learned a lot from her.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I can never be lazy. And whoever has grown through her hands, she's not lazy.
Yeah, I can feel that. Like, I also always have this thing where, if I'm just sitting, maybe in our era, it wasn't, maybe because we grew up there from up to 12, and we stopped going after some time. And we were also in the city where there wasn't that much to do. So I think for us it wasn't that much, but I can tell from all her children that they are very, But I think I also got that from her. I remember when she came to Germany and I was working at the beer festival at Dold, and she would see me coming back because it's just 10 days. It's a beer festival for 10 days and you work almost 10 hours every day. And she looked at me and said, it's because of the strength I gave you when you were growing up.
Yeah,
so you used to complain when I would make you work. Now you're surviving in Europe.
This woman is my hero. She's really, I've learned a lot. At first, you could think, if you hear the story now, right now, from when I tell somebody my story, how I grew up, people think my mother would have been in prison and what. But in the other hand, if we had not gone through what we went through, we couldn't have managed.
Yeah, life
now
back
I came to
in
Europe, and in Europe you have to do everything yourself. So without that training, how could you survive?
Yeah. And how did growing up in that way change how you see the world?
Yes, because the world of these days is really destroyed. especially with the technology which is there right now, telephones and what. Every child does not have time to play, does not time to work, to do housework, because all the time they're on telephone, all the time they're chatting, all the time they're, so it's really, the other time it was a very nice time to raise your children.
But you didn't like it.
I didn't like it. I'm seeing it now.
No, I mean, when you were growing up, you also felt they were punishing you to do it. So
yeah, not every day, because I knew I was supposed to work. But sometimes it used to be extreme.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so tell us about life, like in school. How was it in school for you?
Yeah, the school was fine. Though I was not all that bright that I could get good results, because, studying in the village also wasn't really giving you courage to read. Because me, ever since I studied and I finished senior 4, I'd never seen any person graduating in my village.
In university, you mean?
University.
Oh, at that time,
So,
Aunt Beatrice was still
she was
younger.
in Kampala.
Okay,
But me,
okay.
we studied in
but grandma was a graduate.
yeah, that one, I was not there. I could not
When she
tell.
was graduating.
But
Okay.
for us, there were no people at the village that, hey, this one has
You had no
graduated,
one to
these
look up
days.
for. To look
So
up to.
I never had anything to look up for.
To look up to.
I
yeah, okay.
remember my dad used to ask me, what would you like to be when you grow? I remember I was like, I want to be an air hostess. He almost killed me. Air hostess, is it a qualification? So we didn't have anything to look up to. So when I grew up, I didn't know exactly what I wanted. And I did my senior 4, finished. So one day I was in town. I met my cousin. She died late. My late cousin, Joy. She convinced me, Margaret, this man, you see, is a manager of Uganda Railways Corporation. That was by then Karamagi. He said, let's go and ask for jobs. I said, but I cannot go and study. I said, no, we go hold the jobs. So we ran with her. Then she was asking, Arali, we want jobs. Then she had said, you young girls, why do you want jobs? For what? I said, no, we want to do look for pocket money. What? He refused. He said, go and study. So my cousin, she told me, Margaret, let's go to Kampala and follow this. Mommy, I know where he works. Oh my God.
Wow.
So I asked Mom, I'm going to Kampala with Joy. Mommy didn't want it, but I had to look for transport. Then we go. We went to Kampala, and when we reached, we went to that place. And the man was seeing us. He said, you girls, you're still here. I said, yes, we came to look for jobs. He said, but what jobs can I give you? You go and study. So my first time to come in Kampala, no, it wasn't my first time. My first time to come to Kampala is when my sister Beatrice was getting married.
Oh,
when I
wow.
was still in senior 1.
Okay. Wow.
But that was, I think, the second time. So this man, we kept on his neck. So he gave us a job of office messenger, taking letters from here to there. For us, we thought earning money. Over how much was it? I don't know. It was so fun because I was working on the railway station. Me, every time the train was coming from Kasese, I was already there looking for the people. Hello. They transferred me to another place. Anyway, that one is not, it's not an important issue to
But that was
now.
your first professional working experience.
Yeah. And I remember when I worked, my first salary, I went and bought materials. I said my first salary, I have to bless my family.
Fabric,
I bought for my mom fabric, for my mom, for my aunties, and and I gave them. They were happy.
Oh, so then they didn't complain.
And my grandmother.
Okay. So how did we come in? Was it around that time or a little bit later?
When did you come in? Will I say, I didn't intend that I'm going to have you. I was young, but Through Joy, my friend.
She introduced you to daddy.
Yeah, he had a friend, and that friend was a friend to your dad. And we used to go eat lunch and so on. So the rest, I don't know how they followed it, but yeah, it wasn't intended, and he never wanted it that way. But I thank God that I got two beautiful ladies.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
Okay. And when
And I was young. By then I was 18 when I got my first child. I had started a course of interior designing. I remember my uncle was paying for me, and I could not finish because I got pregnant. And that was all.
Yeah. Okay, so and then when the kids came, take us through your life when you first had Amy. How was, first of all, the experience of your first child?
It was a fun experience. My first child, before even I got her, I didn't know how the labor pains are. I didn't know anything. I was pregnant there, moving up and down, wearing my stiletto. So the stomach went growing. I didn't know what I was going to bring out. I didn't know. In fact, I was anxiously waiting for what is going to come. I don't know, because I don't know which baby.
So there was no gender revealing. No, you didn't know the sex of the baby.
No, they didn't tell us. They didn't tell us. That too, they didn't tell me. So I started getting my small clothes for baby. I used to go to a window and shop there and wash and hang. I buy nappies and everything. I prepare. Your father used to support me, give me money, and I used to do those things. So the first time I went to the last time I went to the doctor, he told me, if anything, you hear anything, come. So by then I had something. So I think the baby was moving. Me, I was already in the hospital. I was already in the hospital, but the labor pains are not coming. So I went to the hospital, and I found one lady. She told me, you tell that you are feeling pain, so that I take you in the labor ward. So I started saying, I'm feeling pain all over. So they took me to the labor ward. When I went to the labor ward, I found two ladies there. For them, they were ready to give birth. And by then in Zambia, had curtains, not. So I said, how do they give birth? So when I checked, I did like this, the curtain, the woman was crying, and I said, I can never stay here. I ran. I said, labor pain stay. So it was funny. You being a child is bad. And you don't know anything. You don't know any advice. You know, when I got pregnant, my family was annoyed. Like, how could I get pregnant? I have to go to the father of the children. So it's like you're going to get married at your age.
Oh, so at that time you were staying with daddy?
With him. So the next time I was like, now I came out of the labor ward. So this woman again told me, if you go in the holes, the car, which makes you fall in holes and come,
the potholes.
Potholes. I remember I called over, who was that coming? I said, please take me to industrial area, 6th Street, because that's where the whole potholes were. We went in the holes, up and down. I came back, I slept very well without any pain. So I said, the next time I'm going home. So I went home. I started doing my job for 2 more weeks. Nothing. So my mother came that time in the evening and brought me a maid, and then told me, I asked her, how do the labor pains so? So she explained to me, and unfortunately, when I went to bed, I started feeling the same things my mother was saying. I said, no.
Mentally?
This one is like, and yet it was true.
Oh.
The very day mommy came and told me, and that's when I started feeling the pains she was telling me. And then I got my first baby.
Oh, wow.
I remember by then there was no cars. We had to walk to Zambia from Kabalagala. We walked.
Is it the experience said when you were walking with Auntie Beth and someone came and attacked you?
Yeah, somebody wanted to knock us with a bicycle, and Elizabeth, my sister, wanted to finish him.
Wow. Okay, so what challenges as a woman? Like you said, there are some people who are looking at you saying you're married, you're having children, you're still young.
The challenge I have is I was young and the school stopped. So you can imagine other children are going forward. For you, you're at home, you are a mother.
How did that make you feel?
I felt really bad. I felt really bad because I wanted also to finish my school and but I could not even blame God that I have a child. Yeah. And again, other people, they used to see you because your father was older than me, higher. So they used to see me like a younger girl married to that man. So they start talking, this younger, what is he looking at from this man and what? So there are so many challenges that I didn't have a job, you know. Like I had learned from my friend tailoring, Robina. God bless you. She taught me, so I had my machine, so I could make clothes at home, and I was doing very well. Yeah. They used to call me designer. I used to make so many things.
I remember one time I was in town and met Uncle Mwenda. And he was telling everyone, saying, you people should have seen the mouth of this girl. My cousin was the hottest girl in Kampala. And I do definitely have. I'll probably post these pictures on Instagram.
Yeah.
My mom made all her outfits.
Yes.
Everything she
I
wore
used to make them.
was made by her. And they
Yeah.
weren't just simple skirts. It was like, you know,
Yeah.
walking on the runway outfit.
Yeah.
Yes, I love looking at those pictures. You were really young.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us about some of that. Like, how did you overcome that people looking down on you, the society, and the pain you are feeling for dropping out of school?
You know what? Because I'm a Christian, I used to pray. I used to pray to Mother Mary, the mother of the universe. I used to pray the rosary. I used to surrender to God. Yes, I was not really, I didn't know really God like I know him now, but at least the way my mom taught me, it helped me. I used to cry out to Mom, and I tell her, things are not well. I'm young. I'm not supposed to be here, but I have already a family. And I remember I wasn't having me alone because by you had not yet come. I had my your father's children, Tom
some
and
of
Julius.
them are almost
They are
like
almost
a few
12 years. And I had my sister Catherine. I had my brother Jude. They were all staying with me.
I remember my early childhood memory. We were so many. For some reason, I used to think you were like 50 years old because Vanessa was at home. I remember Auntie Magamhanga was telling us that when like anyone who would leave Kampala would say, you're going to Kampala. No, if people leaving the village, they would say, you're going to Kampala. You go to Margaret's place. Apparently your place was the first stop, and then people are integrated into the city. Yeah.
You know, the thing is, I grew up in a big family, and I used to take care of my young ones. So that one,
it was normal.
It gave me experience. Yeah. So I never wanted to be alone. I wanted to be around people. With the people, many people, I'm happy. What we're going to eat or what we used to plan.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
I don't remember us lacking. Yeah. Okay, so tell us about like this, like, okay, when you and Daddy separated, what happened, the changes that happened?
Oh, that was terrible. Because by then, when I separated with Dad, I remember we had not paid rent for 6 months.
Oh.
Yes. And I didn't know. Dad didn't tell me. So when we separated, and this landlord told us, I'm going to hold everything in the house because I owe you 6 months rent. I was like, what? He has never gave you money? I didn't know anything. Luckily enough, my sister, my friend Lucy Kajove, she's in the UK.
The neighbor.
She was our neighbor. So I talked to her, please, I want to pass my sofa, my good things. I put them in your house. I will tell them I have sold them to you. She accepted. So that's what we did in the night. So when the woman came, I said, me, I sold the things because I didn't have money to eat. That's how we survived with. The life wasn't easy. You know, giving birth, you're young, you don't have a job, now you're not with a man. You can imagine. I remember I had even to send you to grandma in the village.
Yeah. And how was, I remember that's the time when you started the salon, right?
Yeah, Salon de Casse. Yeah. I started Salon de Casse with the help of my sister, my twin sister, Elizabeth. By then she was in USA, California. So she used to send me support. So I told her, well, I want to do a salon. Then she sent me dryers. And even, you know, America things, you have to use step down. So with everything, she sent everything and I started. And I had a friend called Kawesa. I think he's in London right now. He also helped me because he was a good friend. He really helped me a lot, and on this salon also contributed.
Yeah. And I remember when we came back, we came back, then Imi went to boarding school.
Yeah. Oh,
how was that?
My baby. You know, taking your child in a boarding school when he's just 6 years, I think seven,
yeah.
It was hurting, but I had to do that because I could not manage. I wanted my kids to be in a good school so that they can study well. But now, going to that school, imagine a young girl, she's going to wash herself, everything, panties and everything. Oh God, it was tough. So when I took her, I said, on the visiting day, when I find this girl telling me that I don't want that school, I will remove her. So the time came.
Oh, Amy ruined it for me.
Yeah,
I remember like it was yesterday.
Yeah, the time came and we went for visiting. And when I saw her, the first thing she came running, oh, mommy, you're welcome. And then this is my friend. Then I was like, oh my God, I think she likes you. Then I asked her, do you like the school? Yes, mommy. Even I have many friends. Oh my God.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you. It's because of you that I followed you the next year.
I felt so good. Yeah. And now I was planning to take this small one. Resty Kansiime.
I remember us visiting Amy. Oh my God. It was like 100 people. We were so many, the whole bee farm, all of us. I remember those pictures. Yes.
And Timbubi.
Yeah, we were so many people. And when we went back home, the things we took for Imi, I said, And then I remember when we got home, you said, do you like it? I said, yes. For me, I think the thing I liked the most was being visited. And when I was told I was going, that's all I was going for, to get the visiting. I didn't think it was going to come with a lot more.
I don't want to say what you did, but anyway, let us leave it there.
I remember the next year, they bought for me things. You told me, yes, when you're in your boarding school, you have your own suitcase. At home, I used to sleep, I think, with you or with someone. You have your own bed. You have everything yours. And then all the things. And on video, we'll come and send you. I said, okay, I'm convinced. Let's go. And then they said, so the foodstuffs, we are going to give them to a girl who used to keep Imi's grabs. She was in classes ahead. I said, okay, that's good. And then I reached that day. I realized there's no time to turn back. Mommy has gone. Everyone has gone. They are ringing the bell, serving posho and beans. I went and told Imi, I want my grab. Imi said, you think you just ask for it anytime? I said, Mommy said anytime I want gram, I come, I tell you, and you tell that friend. Amy said, Resty, we are going to bed right now. The friend sleeps on the other side of the campus. You cannot get. I said, I don't care what I cried the whole night. Because at home I was used, you could just, eat something.
I know. It's not easy in a boarding school. But what can we do?
Yeah. But anyways, you did what you did. And so tell us, how was the time, like when we were at school for you? How are you feeling? Would you feel comfortable knowing
No.
your kids are fine? Or
No, I wasn't feeling comfortable. I was missing my children because it kept telling me they are young for this school. They are young. But I kept thinking, what if others are there, they could also try. But to my surprise, they liked the school and they loved it and they wanted to stay.
I kind of forgot about the pain the next day. Like when I
Yeah.
made friends, I forgot. But there are times when I would really be sad. I want to come home. But by the time you come on visiting day, all that is lost. You're
And
just excited to see
And
your
for
parents.
you, I took you when you were really 6 years.
Yeah.
Ime was 7 at least.
Yeah.
But it is really painful when your child is leaving to a boarding school.
And how was it when we were at school for you at that time?
Yeah, I think I started thinking of what to do. I was having already a machine, so I was working hard because I was the one paying school fees. I was the one coming to visit and paying my rent.
And you had no car?
Yeah, I had no car. And I never even dreamt of driving one. Yeah, but that's when I started working very hard. Starting very hard. I remember I used even to go to a window, get some second-hand clothes, and then I take them to offices so that they can sell. Yes, and bags and
Interesting.
shoes.
So you were hawking clothes.
Yeah.
So for some of those who are not from Uganda, Owino is like, how do I say?
A big market.
It's like a
second-hand.
flea market. Like sell secondhand things from Europe and America, and they bring them in like packages, and then people just go and buy them off the street. Yeah, that's quite interesting.
Yeah.
I know people still do that up to now.
Yeah, I used to sell, and I had my customers because I had that choice. God gave me a gift that I could see something and for
Their
someone
style,
and it fits.
Yeah, that's really good. And for some of the challenges, because I remember when we were growing up, there are times where, like at the end of the term or at the beginning of term, you had to choose between buying things for school or paying all the school fees, and that's how was that?
That was really a hassle because money wasn't there. I used to hustle a lot. But in all, I thank you, my twin sister, Elizabeth. She really stood in for me. She used to pay school fees for you people when I didn't have.
Yeah.
I could tell her, and she used to pay school fees. And again, my big sister Beatrice also, when I didn't have like food, like what I could go to her, and she would pack me food, you know. It was a hassle really because and so many regrets came. Why did I give birth this time? You know, you could remember all those things. But again, the joy comes when you see your children, you know, and you just thank God.
Yeah. So would you say that maybe us coming early and you becoming a single mom was something that helped you to be who you are right now? And
Yeah, I would say that. Because without having you, I don't know whether I would have grown maturely, or I don't know. But having you and the struggles I went through, really it wasn't easy. But if you are very hardworking and you plan, you think, oh, I do this. If this one does not fail, I do this. You have to be active and you have to plan what to do.
Yeah.
And thank God if you have anybody helping you with little money, then you can plan either to do this and this, which can bring money for you. So that one taught me that, I grew up and I knew that there is nothing I can't do. And again with the training of my mom at home, so also it helped me because there is nothing I cannot do. Anything. Going to the market, I'll do border. By then it was not there. But those things like I have to hustle, run here and run here, come back home, sleep. In the morning you're rushing.
Yeah.
It's very simple.
I think when I was growing up, seeing grandma, Auntie Beatrice, seeing like most of the people, like the aunties and mostly women, they were all very hardworking, and it's something that I knew for you to, when you grow up, you have to be hardworking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm forgetting somebody. Abwoli Monica.
Yeah. And
Abwoli
Abol Monica
she
is...
came with her challenges. In fact, we were talking the other day, and she told me all her challenges, what she went through, and which I never knew. I just came to know about it. But she went through a lot with her son and daughter, Margaret and James. When she came and started living with us, because the father, your father and their father, they are brothers.
Yeah.
I had to accept her. Though your dad didn't want, but I told her, this one has to be here. There's nowhere she's
I
going
remember
to
we
go.
grew up with them
Yeah.
our whole life. Yeah.
So Margaret James was like 3 years. Margaret was like 5. So since they came in, now we had a family.
Yeah.
And we grew together, and we kutetenkanya. We used to plan, me and Abwoli.
Yeah, that's
and,
actually
and
my whole life. I remember
yeah.
her.
And by the way, Abwoli coming, she taught me a lot. Because she went through a lot, and she used
And
to
she
do
was
so
older
many
than
things.
you, right?
And we started.
Yeah.
By
Because
the
when
way,
you started the salon, you did it together.
we did it together. She used to make, but the funny thing, she used to make hair, and me, I concentrate on finishing. I never learned that hair. I wish I learned it. I'll be doing, getting money.
Yeah.
But
So-
Monica, you are also my hero, because when you came, I changed a lot. I started following her. We are doing this. She's planning. Margaret, now we have 2,000. What do we do? I think let's buy muhogo, cassava. Let's buy this. And then this one, maybe we keep it for... And
So you were 2 women
yes.
who had I wouldn't say married, but back in the day, if you had
Yes.
children and someone you were
Yes.
married, you
Yes.
had practically married brothers,
Yes.
and you found yourselves now. For her, she was first single,
Yeah.
a single mom, and when you became a single mom, you
We
had
joined
each other.
together.
Yeah, I remember we grew up very everywhere. When you sent us for Porto, when we were in Kampala, although for her she didn't send the kids to boarding school, but I remember you people did everything together until
I
you
know.
left. Yeah,
And I really thank God, because I met her.
yeah. So you mentioned her as your hero. Who are some of your other heroes or people who have inspired
My
you?
mom, of course, because all what I am is because of her.
Yeah,
My big sister is Beatrice. I see her because for her, she was in a different category. She was educated. She was a teacher, a secondary teacher. And she was married to a family which is well off. They were okay, and she used to take care of so many people. And for us, we used to run to her as our mom. Like,
she was older
yes, our
than you.
mother's there, because she will listen to you. Our home used to be full also. Before even
I
got
grew
to
up there.
used to be full also. So I used to see her as, up to now, I see her as my hero, my mom. I don't know how I can explain it.
Yeah, I call her senior mom. I call her
Yeah.
my senior mom.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she will advise you, and she will, she was with me because I stayed with her so many times when I was in Kampala. I used to come to her place. She used to be super.
Yeah. Interestingly, when we were growing up, I was thinking about I loved going to Bokoto House.
Yeah.
That was my home. And every time when I was living with you, we would come back from holidays and I would pack my thing and she'd say, "Oh, you've gone to your home." I'm like, "Yeah, bye, mom." And then you would always come pick me up at the end of the holiday.
I know.
And I always thought I only went there because, they always had DSTV. They had, the life there was superb. You open the fridge and you're like, whoa, everything is there. But then when I thought about it some time back, I realized that what pulled me there was the family. I really admired the family, Uncle Steven and their relationship. It's something that I think I was seeking, like a family where there was a mom and dad who were always there and doing this. And that's something that I actually realized that I think also it's something that helped you a lot, gave you some stability, because Uncle Steven used to treat you like his daughter.
That man, that gentleman, that Uncle Steven, only God bless you, because to my family he was really somebody. When we have a problem, when we've lost somebody, Uncle Steven will always be there till to today.
Yeah, definitely.
Never left us.
Yeah, he's practically one of my dads.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and tell us, like, what are some of the things after later on? You later, I think around the 2000, you had Daniela. Tell us about your experience with Uncle Dan, and then maybe the time when you moved here.
I will not say so much because the story is long, but I got salvation in 1998. And when I got salvation, that's where I found my friends now. Linda, Daniel. I didn't know Daniel. I didn't know Tewo, Matthias, Agatha, Immaculate. There were many people there, and I didn't know. So the time I got my salvation and I found them in church, so it was really encouraging me. We started going together to church. I became a worshiper. I joined the worship team, and we really started serving God. And that's where I met the father of Daniela and Denzo. Daniel. It wasn't really a relationship, but somehow, somewhere, I cannot explain everything, but it happened. And in the end, I got pregnant with Daniela. And when I got pregnant, it was really a bad experience. Leave alone the other one when I was young. But this one, I was in church. I was in a worship team. And now pregnant without getting married.
With a third child.
So everybody at church were talking about me. She's pregnant. I think I was the worst sinner by then. They could see me a worst sinner. But God's ways are not our ways, because God is the one who judges. And I thank God that I overcame it. I said, God. Dan, I remember he went to KPC. And me, I said, God, I'm staying in this church. Whether they talk or not. I'll go to the prayer meeting Tuesdays.
So for him, he left because of the talk?
Yeah. And whether they talk or not, I'll be going. Tuesdays, Sundays. And I did it. But when Daniela came, everybody was like, wow.
Yeah, I remember she was a favorite child every time we went to church.
But what I went through, people could see me as a sinner. They judge you.
Yeah, that happens a lot, unfortunately.
That is life.
Instead of the people supporting you.
No, I never got support. Right
only from your friends.
Only my friends. Yeah, but other people, it was terrible.
Yeah, and then Denzo came, then you got married.
Getting married was also, it was my prayer. But the person who was praying to get married, it wasn't his prayer. It wasn't like he didn't want it, or he wanted to go for further stories. So we had to reach because I know God. Excuse me. I had to tell him, do you know what? Let us separate. And I concentrate with my God. I need to serve God. I don't want to be in this relationship. So for him, he said he wants to go to study.
How to master.
So we separated 3 months, and that's when I started planning, because my sister and my brother, they had already Isaac and Winnie, they had already come to Germany. And me, so I started working on the things the way we plan. I planned, and my things went through. Okay, they were almost going through. Then Dan, my late husband, now comes, he wants to marry me. I was like, hey, You want to marry me? Me, I'm going to Europe.
Don't ruin my plans.
You're not going to ruin my plans. He said, no, even if you're going to marry, you can go together. Let us get married. I said, Dad, the way you said you are going to study, go and study. Me, I'm going. He refused. And then he said to Margaret, then when I talked to Teo, my friend, I said, Teo, can you imagine Danny saying, want to get married? Teo, praise the Lord. This is what we've been praying
Some
for.
friends can need us in the road.
Teo. And for her, she really said that is God's answer. So I told my mom, because my mom had already told them that, my sisters, that it's over. But when I thought about it, I remember I went to the priest for confession. The priest said, Margaret, finish 6 months. If you finish 6 months, you've not met with your husband, come, I will give you authority to go back to your table to receive Holy Communion. Did 6 months reach? 3 months already. He was coming. Then we went. Then in the end, I prayed over it. I said, God, let me give this respect to my children. At least let
So
me
you
get
did it for
married.
us.
Yeah. So I accepted.
The wedding
And
was
we
really
married.
fast,
But
I remember.
I told him, whether we are marrying or not, after my marriage, if the things go through, I'm going. He said, yeah, we'll go together. Even me, I'm planning. So my things went through. When it was like we are planning in 1 month, in 2 weeks I had already a visa. So we had to rush things. We got married, and after 3 days I left.
Yeah, I remember.
I left. My husband tried to get the visa, but for him,
He
they
didn't
didn't
get it.
give him. So he stayed back home, and we came.
Yeah. And how was life with you moving here, the language?
Oh my God. This wasn't easy. First of all, you are used to a maid. You are used to the children being taken care of. Now I'm me with the 2 children. One is 1 and another 3 years. They all need me. I don't know what to do it. I almost became mad. And where I'm coming, I don't know what is going to be there. Of course, I cannot explain the life here, what we went through, but it wasn't easy at all. And in this German, my son, he was already 2 years or what? He was not talking. He was nothing. He was aggressive. My God, the life wasn't easy.
And you
I
had
had
2 kids
never
in Uganda.
in my life had the word stress. I'd never. I've been having, I think, stress, a lot of it in Uganda, but I don't know whether they call it stress. The word stress, I found it here.
I remember we all learned stress.
Stress. Because this was really stress. And I went through a lot with my son. It wasn't easy. He wasn't talking. And then they went into checking him, hospital, taking him to theaters, checking. And I remember they came and told me, do you know, your child will never talk, will never listen. I said, what? Doctor, my child will talk, my child will listen, my child will do everything normal. Why are you saying that? I said, Frau Dongo, this is the exact thing we are telling you. But I told them, no, but God sees it different. I'm not allowing my child not to talk. Nobody in my family or his family who does not talk. So I refused them. So these people, they were like, hey, this woman I think is crazy. I said, I'm not crazy. I know my child will talk. So we continue the journey with my son. They are doing therapies, ergotherapy, all those therapies.
So
they
it was
did.
at this time they had declared him deaf and dumb
Yeah,
and autistic.
autistic. Yeah. But you know what you confess is what comes. I confess that my son will talk, and my son talked. It took him time. Of course, they had prepared him a school of deaf and dumb.
Yeah, special needs.
Yeah. And before that time, they took him to a test. And this boy, they put him in a room and they started testing whether he's talking. And the boy was busy playing with a small toy car. There is nothing he listened. They did everything. He didn't listen. He was only one play. So they concluded. But when they got the school, the doctor said, you know what? Let us test him only once. Because that time we could pray. I remember I used to have a lady from Ghana. So we used to pray together. And we pray with the dad, you know,
on the
online. We pray. So the doctor called him again. I said, now we are going to give him only one chance again test. When they put the boy, everything they did, he could see. Every noise.
After months of research.
Yeah. Even the doctor, I remember that doctor worked in Tanzania. He told me. He called me.
I love this story.
He called me and said, Frau Dongo, I want to ask you, what did you use any juju? Like witchcraft? I said, why? This boy was not talking, but you said he's going to talk. And you know Africa, they use juju. Huh? Did you use anything?
It was God.
Then I said, yes, I use juju. God. You know, when you believe in God, God will do everything. And the man was like, then your God did it. So they took my son to a normal other school, also special.
Because of autism, yeah.
Also special. And now the boy,
you can't even see.
you cannot even think that
Everything.
he even went through those things.
Yeah.
He's a mature, he's now 21,
Doing everything.
independent, working.
Yeah.
My dear, people, when you have any challenge, a child is sick, just trust in God. Everything will be fine.
I believe that. I believe that. And I'm sorry I'm bringing a lot of makeovers, but I will try to ask. I remember I was at the university and we found out that Akodan had passed on.
Yeah.
Which is so sad because you found out on Facebook. That was the only source of communication we had. And now your husband was gone.
Yeah, he died and he had talked to us on 25th and he promised to call on the 26th. And sadly, 26th.
After Christmas, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
And
the
I
kids
didn't
had
know
not
what
seen him
to tell.
since they left.
Because they left when they're young and they had never seen him. It is sad. Sometimes I blame myself, but I left it to God because I wanted the best for the children.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a really sad moment. And I think it's also been so far.
2011.
Yeah. So I know this has been a really memory, but have you ever been to therapy, counseling?
No, they concentrated on my son.
And you weren't a priority. So is it something you consider you'd ever need or?
I don't know, but I think I'm overcoming it now.
Okay, so your faith is the one that has helped you.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so tell us where this, I think from your story, okay, I've always done, but being that you are always a mom, you are always taking care of people, it makes sense why you're always spending all your money on buying other people things. Tell us this, because for me, I feel like you have a shopping problem.
Fortunately,
you are shopaholic. Tell us about your shopaholic. Is it because you came from nothing, now you have, you're like, I have to spend, or?
Fortunately, I'm not praising myself, but I'm a person who gives. I can even remove what you've asked me. And
we call her Mama Teresa.
Yeah. I give a lot and I receive a lot.
Where do you think that comes from?
I don't know.
Maybe not having makes you feel like you understand. Because I remember when Denzel was born, one auntie got sick and you went to the hospital. You left us home, you went to the hospital, and you had gone to visit this person. No, you had gone to visit an auntie who was sick. Then after that, the auntie left the hospital, but you kept going back. That's my memory. I was probably around 12. But you kept going back for the whole week, and you would always come home and take our clothes without even asking, and pack things and take. And then later you told us, yeah, when I went to the hospital, I walked around and I found, oh, this poor woman, she had nothing. And then she had so many other people who didn't have. Now I have to go and visit them. So that's...
Yeah. And I think it's a gift which I cannot deny. I really appreciate it, but it's expensive gift.
It is, because you almost always spend everything you have on other
You
people.
know,
But for
and
some reason,
I just see a person, I feel bad
the
when
pain
somebody
for them.
doesn't
You know
have.
where you've also
And then
come from.
another thing, when I am moving in a shop, I'll just see somebody in a dress.
Photograph.
Yeah, let me say I'll see Ime. This thing fits Ime. Oh, this one fits. I will have to buy it.
Yeah, actually, I benefited a lot from your shopaholic skills, because I remember in school, from the time you came, we didn't see you. You left in 2003. We didn't see you again until about 2007. 2007, yeah. I think we didn't see you again until then. That was the first time you came back. And before that, it took, I think, a few years until I came here to visit, and you told us a story of Denzo and everything you were going through. That's when I was like, okay, now it makes sense why Mommy told us I'll come and get you after 1 year, but she didn't. But one thing that I noticed, I was like, oh, Mommy was actually going through a lot. But during that time, for some reason, yes, in the beginning when you had just come, it was hard. We struggled a lot, just school fees and all that. But eventually, I don't know, for me, it always felt like everything was fine, because, oh my God, I had the most clothes in school. Imi and I had the most clothes, the latest fashion. I think from the time I went to senior 2 until I finished, even university. And then one time, I remember Auntie Lillian came and she said, you people, your mom struggles, but she never goes to buy cheap things. She always goes to the expensive stores and buys for you everything that you ask for her. And for me, I remember being young is really silly, but every time I would say, yeah, Mommy, I want this. You say, you people, I don't have money. I'm like, I know, I just have to repeat it over and over again. I really manipulated you. I'm sorry. I knew that if I repeated it over and over again, eventually you'll call and say, what exactly did you say you wanted? And that's something that I realized that, like when I came here, that's when I realized you would actually spend all you had to make sure that we had everything. And yet for us, we were living a life that side where we were, enjoying, and here now to know that you are going through a lot.
And another thing, why I wanted to give you all whatever you wanted, because I didn't want boys to deceive you.
Oh, yes.
You understand?
You did prohibit us from talking to boys.
Because
guys, my fear from boys comes from my mom. Yeah. She said, if I hear you were talking to a boy... What was your fear about this?
Because I didn't want you to get pregnant when, I did.
But you put, for me particularly, you put a fear in me that was so bad that you would see a boy coming and I ran the other side. Until I was at university, it was so hard for me. Even up to now, sometimes, unless you're my friend, when I meet a boy, it's easy for me to become friends with the girls. But when I'm around a boy, somehow, I just feel like I'm doing something wrong.
Anyway.
Yeah, but... Yeah, I think that fear you put on us wasn't 100%. But
I had fears because I went through it.
Yeah, so you didn't want history to repeat itself.
Yeah, itself.
Yeah.
And I really love it because even when I'm here, everybody calls me Mommy.
Yeah, sure.
Everyone, they call me Mommy. And everyone wants to call, but why do you call me Mommy? You'll find out soon. You find the person who calling me Mommy again. So
yeah, you have
I really thank God. I don't know what they see in me, but
You've always had the naturalist thing. Like everyone in here, even people from Nigeria, where mommy, mommy, mommy.
And I remember I used to have my place where I used to be, the first house. Oh God, that house. We could put mattresses down. For us, we were just blacks, not because
They would come for like a
because
weekend.
a white person here, you cannot just, if you're not fitting in the house, then they will tell you,
Bedroom.
there is no place for you. But for us, my house.
You'd bring everyone. Yeah. Okay, so also tell us a little bit about the pictures. What's with the house? I'm sorry, guys. I wish I could show you, but the whole house is full of
My
pictures.
God, these pictures, in my old house, they were all over. Now these people, they started training me. Now do this like this. But I used to put them everywhere. Because do you know why? Because I was missing my people. So my pictures being around me, they used to bring those memories that I'm with them.
Make you feel like at home.
I'm at home. So whenever I come, I will miss Rest. I'll come. I'll miss Imi. I'll come. Oh, they're here.
I did that also when I came here to Germany, and it's something. And for you also, all the pictures that you'd send us when you were here, you'd write at the back, this is Daniela in the game, this is this. And you'd always, when you miss, you'd look at it and all this. Yeah. Okay, so before we conclude, maybe you can tell us what do you think is the major thing you've learned about your life, and what can you tell other women out there? Because with this platform, I'm trying to inspire women, and to me, I feel like your life is a movie. I know there's so much we haven't talked about. Probably one day we'll write a book. But what do you think women need to know? And maybe a girl out there, you can speak to a girl out there who has gotten pregnant out of wedlock, unplanned pregnancy, struggling to make ends meet, a parent out there who has a kid who is autistic, people who are raising their children from a distance, long distance. What would you tell this woman?
First of all, I want to thank you, my daughter, Resty. I don't know how you came out with this plan. It's a big
Your
plan.
life inspired me.
It's a big plan, and I see the future in this plan. And thank you, because it's going to help so many young people there and women outside there. I thank you with your husband, Mark, and whoever has been in this, because when I see these things, the way you are doing those things, I cannot do them because it's hard.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate you. I want to talk to women outside there. As a woman, let us really give praise to ourselves, because it's not easy being a woman, and especially being a young mother. My experiences, I got my first child when I was 18. Okay, I was young. I came out of school. I could not continue with school. That one you could imagine. Maybe there's somebody outside there who's pregnant and he thinks life is finished. Life is not finished.
Yeah, it's
It
just the
isn't.
beginning.
It's the beginning. And never give up. I never gave up. I did everything. I went to the old markets. I sold things. I did so many things so that I can raise these children as a single mother. And a lady, a young girl who is pregnant, never think of aborting the baby. Because first of all, God is the one who creates. That baby belongs to God, not to anybody. Even if you don't have any person to help you, remember that the God who is created that baby in you will have a last say. So I just pray that whoever gets pregnant would accept and thank God and wait for God's miracles, because it happens. Me, I got pregnant. I didn't have support, really, that somebody supported me, and I got these children. And I've seen many other girls getting pregnant, others aborting, and they regret after, you know.
Yeah.
So, and ladies with family where that men are not taking care of you. We've gone through it. The only thing is I ask you to work hard. Look for something. Try to think, what can I do so that my children, because these children are the future. If you sabotage them, then that means the future is not there. You've killed the future. So try very, very hard to make it that one day they will succeed. I'm so proud of my children.
Thank you.
Both of them, they're educated, and others, that one is still in the university now, and another one got a course and finished. The two did their masters. These are the children I delivered when I was 18 and 20, but they are not. And then they are married. So you can imagine, I didn't do those things. It was God who planned everything. So ladies outside there, never give up. Work hard and never allow a man to put you down. You can make it.
With or without the man.
Without a man or with a man, you can make it. Work hard and most of all, pray. Trust God, because with God, everything is possible. There's nothing impossible with God.
Well, you heard it from my hero. I've shared her today with you all. And yeah, there's nothing more to add. You had something to say?
I have something to say. I thank all my children. I thank you, the elder sister Dorian. I thank Amy, Resty, Daniela, and Denzo. And I thank my son, James Kiza, and my daughter, Margaret. Yeah. We are all a team. And as a team, we have made it. Kiza is a lawyer from Monica, and Margaret did her master's. She's doing well. So whatever went through, it was hard. I remember we used to sleep in a house, and the rain was raining, and we could put buckets. But now see where we are.
Yeah.
So it's not the end of time. Suffering is not the end of time. Just trust God and work hard, and never be underlooked by a man.
Yeah.
Well, if you made it this far, then I believe that you have enjoyed this journey and have been really, really inspired and encouraged, and probably her story brings healing. That right there is my mom. The story that she has told is my inspiration. It's the reason why I am who I am. When I was young, I prayed that God would make me the woman that she is, and I hope that I can be able to pay her back one day by giving this love forward, because she has loved and she continues to love other people. And mommy, I just want you to know that everything that you have done, it has been for a reason. You have inspired us, and you have showed us that we should never give up. We just have to keep going. Your resilience is something that is very, very inspiring. For any person out there that has faced the same challenges or is facing the same challenges as she did, your child is autistic, you're a single mom, you've been rejected by society or looked down upon, I know that this story will show you that your story is not over. You are still in the making, and your story is still being written. So thank you so much once again for the love and support, and for listening in on this episode. I just want to ask you if you could share it with the people that you think will benefit from it, your moms, your aunties, your friends. I know that this is going to be a very inspiring message. And we will see each other once again next week when I will be hosting my next guest. This is She Center, the female podcast where women's stories matter. I love you all. God bless.